Hi guys, my name is Amira Saeed. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to explain simplifying and evaluating expressions. It's on page 308 and 309. My Facebook and Instagram, Amira Al-Asadi. And for my students, you guys know my phone number and email address. So if you guys have any question, please text me or email me on Facebook or Instagram or my phone number or email address, please. Simplifying an expression means to perform all the operations you can within an expression. Note 1. A term is a number, a variable, or the product or quotient of numbers and variables. Examples for one term: 5x 3y squared 13 x to the power 3 or x cubed x over 2 6xyz. It means 6 times x times y times z. So there is a multiplication between these variables and with number 6. 9t_mp over 2. So this is one term, and it means 9 times t times m times p and divided by 2. X divided by y means x over y. So this is one term. Same thing, this is one term. Note 2. Like terms have the same variable raised to the same power. 3x squared and 5x squared are like terms, so because they raised to the same power. 8y and 4y, like terms. Y, this y, they both raised to the same power. It means the variables, they should have same variables and they should raised to the same power. 6x and 2x squared, these are different because they raised to a different powers. X, it means x to the power 1, and x squared, it means x to the power 2. Note 3. Note 3, if you have same first A, I have A and B. If you have same signs or if you have different signs. If you have same signs, I'm gonna add and keep the sign. So these two numbers, -6 minus 7 equals -6. I'm gonna change the negative to a positive sign, and the opposite number for 7 is -7. So the answer is -13 because they both have same signs. 2 plus 3 equals 5. So it means +2 plus 3. So these two numbers have same signs. So the answer is going to be 5. 3x plus 2x equals 5x. So it means I'm going to have 3x and 2x, and they both have same signs. So I'm going to add and keep the sign. So 5x means +5x. -2y minus 3y. First, I'm going to change this negative to a positive sign, and the opposite number for 3y is -3y. So now I have same signs. So I'm going to add 2y plus 3y, 5y, and keep the sign. So the answer can be -5y. Different signs. So I'm going to subtract and keep the sign for the large number. 3 minus 2 equals 1. And this is the explanation. It means 3 plus -2. So I can change the 2 to -2. So different signs, subtract and keep the sign, which means 1. Negative 5y plus 2y equals negative 3y. Negative 5y and positive 2y. So they have different signs. Subtract 3y and keep the sign negative for the large term or for the large number. 6 minus 8 equals, it means positive 6 plus, change the sign to positive 8, change it to negative 8, the opposite number. So I can have negative 2. So different signs, subtract 8 minus 6, 2, and keep the sign for the large number, so the answer is negative 2. So this is like if I want to do it vertically. Now if we multiply or divide, same signs or different signs. So for same signs, if I multiply same signs, I can have positive. If I multiply different signs, if I divide same signs, I can have positive 2. So examples, 3 times 5 equals 15. Negative 6 times negative 7 equals positive 42. Negative times negative, positive. Negative 3 times negative 5, positive 15. So when you multiply or divide, if you have two negatives, so gonna be positive. Or if you have two positives, gonna be positive 2. So negative x times negative y equals positive x y. If we have different signs, if you multiply or divide different signs, so the sign gonna be negative. So negative 3 times positive 5 equals negative 15. Positive 8 times negative 9, negative 72. Negative x times y equals negative xy. Negative 6 times z times h, so negative 6 times positive z, gonna be negative. Negative times positive, gonna be negative. So the answer can be negative 6zh. Examples, 5 parentheses x minus 2. So let's try these examples maybe later. So I have note 4. Note 4, you can add or subtract like terms only. So if I have 5x plus y plus 3x. So first, how many terms do you have, guys? 1, 2, 3. Terms always separated by positives or negatives. So 5x plus y plus 3x. So the first term and the last term are alike. I'm gonna add them, 8x plus y. 6z minus a minus 9z. So the first term and the last term are equals. I have 1, 2, 3 terms. So the red, these two reds has red in the bottom, red line. So these are equals. So I'm gonna change this negative to a positive and 9z to negative 9z, the opposite number for 9z is negative 9z. So these two numbers now has different signs. Subtract and keep the sign for the large number. 6 minus 9z gonna be negative 3z, and minus a, just put it down. What about 3a minus b minus y? If I look at these three terms, I have 3a, negative b, and negative y. If I change the sign, gonna be 3a, negative b, plus negative y. So I have 3a, negative b, and negative y. So these three terms are different. So I can do nothing. I'm gonna leave it as it is. example on page 308. Guys, I'm using this book. It's Task Prep for Kaplan 4th edition. Page 308, simplify. Let's count the terms first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 terms. So I'm gonna put 2x down, change this negative to a positive, change this negative to a positive, and 5 will be negative 5. Plus 4x squared plus negative 8 plus 6x. So then I'm gonna have 2x and 6x, these are alike, so I'm gonna add them up. So the answer is 8x. So I'm done with these 2 terms. Sorry. So what about these 2 terms? These are alike, negative 5 and negative 8. So the answer is going to be negative 13. And 4x squared is just by itself, so I'm going to just write it down. But we always write the expression in order. So first, the term that has the highest power, I'm going to write it down. So now I have 4x squared plus 8x, because the power for x right here, it's 1. So now I'm going to have 4x squared plus 8x plus minus 13. So 4x squared plus 8x minus, because positive times negative is negative, so minus 13. So the expression, I write it down in order from the highest power, and then x squared, x to the power 1, and then the number. Note 5. The distributive property. A times parentheses b plus c equals a times b plus a times c. A parentheses b minus c equals ab minus ac. And for the first one, I'm gonna multiply a times b first plus, and then a times c. And for the second one, I'm gonna change the negative to a positive first, and then multiply, or distribute a and multiply it by b and by the second term. So, because right here I have 2 terms. This is 1 and this is second term. So a times b, ab. Put the positive down. A times minus c, this is a times minus c. And don't forget, guys, parentheses right here. Then I'm gonna have ab minus, because positive times negative, negative, ac. Note 6. So right here, if I have negative before parentheses, so a plus b, then the sign for a is positive. So if I have negative before parentheses, this negative gonna change all the signs for the terms inside parentheses. So positive a gonna change to negative a. Positive b or plus b gonna change to minus b. So if I want to explain it, so negative means negative 1. And I'm gonna multiply negative 1 by times a and negative 1 times b. So the answer is negative 1 times a is negative a. Positive times negative is negative. So 1 times b. So the answer is negative a minus b. For the second one, gonna be the same thing, but first I have to change the negative sign inside parentheses to a positive. And b gonna be negative b. And then multiply negative 1 by these 2 terms. And so I can have negative 1 times a plus negative 1 times negative b. Negative 1 times a is negative a plus negative times negative is positive. So I can have plus b. Note 7. I have PEMDAS. PEMDAS means the first P means parentheses. So the first thing I should get rid if I have parentheses in the expression, exponents, multiplication, division, adding or subtracting. So the first thing I should get rid from parentheses. The second is exponents. The third can be multiplication and division, or I can flip them. And then adding or subtracting or flip them. So this example, these examples, 5 parentheses x minus 2. So I'm going to distribute 5 and multiply it by x and 2. But first thing, I have negative inside parentheses. So I'm going to change it to positive and 2 to negative 2. And don't forget parentheses for negative 2. Then multiply 5 times x. I can have 5x. 5 times negative 2. I can have negative 10 and put the plus down. 5x positive times negative is negative, so minus 10. Negative parentheses 6 minus 3x. First thing, negative, it means negative 1. Change the negative to positive, and this number is going to be negative 3x. So, because the opposite number of 3x is negative 3x. I don't know if it's clear, it's negative 3x. I'm going to write it down right here, negative 3x. And parentheses. This is for this one. Equals negative 1 times 6, negative 6. Plus negative 1 times negative 3x. Equals negative 6 plus 3x, because negative times negative is positive. So I'm going to have positive 3x. And I don't need to write down the positive right here. Then I'm going to switch them, because we always write x first and then the number. So 3x first plus negative 6. And I have 3x minus 6, because positive times negative is negative, so minus 6. Example on page 308, simplify 4x minus 3 times x plus 9 plus 15. So how many terms do you have, guys? If I see, I have one term, second term, third term. So I have 1, 2, 3. Because this term is between the negative and the positive, so this is one term. Because the sign between 3 and parentheses is multiplication. Then 4x down plus. So change the negative to a positive and 3 to negative 3. X plus 9 plus 15. Then I'm going to multiply negative 3 by these two terms. Negative 3 times x, negative 3 times x plus negative 3 times 9 plus 15. And you have to solve from left to right. So first I'm going to put 4x down plus then these steps or these terms. 4x then positive times negative, negative. So going to be minus 3x plus negative 3 times 9, it's negative 27, and plus 15 down. Now I have 4 terms, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have a like 4x minus 3x, which is what, x or 1x. You can say it's 1x. And these are alike, so different signs, because I already have positive right here, but I don't need to write it down. So if I have different signs, I can subtract 12 and keep the sign for the large number negative. Then I can have x minus 12 because positive times negative, I can make it negative. Now I'm going to explain evaluating an expression. Evaluating an expression means finding its value. So example, evaluate x plus 2y. This is example. So evaluate x plus 2y when x equals 1 and y equals negative 3. So I'm going to plug in 1 in the x and negative 3 in the y. So I can have 1 plus 2 times negative 3, 1 plus negative 6, just multiply them. And then I can do it from this step because positive 1, negative 6, different signs. I'm going to subtract and keep the sign for the large number, so the answer is going to be negative 5. So we don't need this step. I think 1 minus 6, we don't need this step. So example on page 308. Finding the value, find the value of the expression 3x plus 2y over 4 when x equals 6 and y equals 5. So this is the fraction. I'm gonna plug in 6 in x and 5 in y. So 3 times x means 3 times 6 plus 2 times 5, so 5 for instead of y, over 4. So just multiply, I'm gonna have 18 plus 10, then 28 over 4, and 28 over 4 equals 7. Now guys, we're gonna have the practice. So practice 1.2 on page 309. So it has 13 questions. I'm gonna do the odd numbers, and the even numbers are your homework. 1, so I have A, and I think I have B. So A, it has 10, I think, questions. So yeah, A has 10 questions, and then there is B, evaluate, for evaluation, and there is another C. So I have A, B, and C. So for A, 1, I have 4 terms, 1, 2, 3, 4. First, I'm gonna change the negative 3 to a positive and 3 to negative 3. So this is gonna be first step. How many terms do we have, guys? 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 terms. So I have now 5 plus x squared plus negative 3 plus 3x. So I think I have 2 terms are alike, which is 5 and negative 3. So I'm gonna subtract them because they have different signs. So I have positive 5 and I have negative 3, so different signs. Subtract and keep the sign for the large number, positive 2, which is 2. And then x squared, it's different than 3x, so put it down and put 3x down. And then I'm gonna write this expression in order. So we always write the highest power at the beginning, which is x squared, then plus 3x, then the number. So this is gonna be the answer. 2 is your homework, and I think, guys, it's clear. 2y plus 5 plus 17y plus 8. So we just simplify it. First, find out how many terms, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then simplify. 3x minus 6 parentheses x minus 9. So first step, put 3x down. The negative, change it to a positive. Change 6 to negative 6 parentheses. Put the x down. Change this negative to a positive, and the opposite number for 9 is negative 9. And please don't forget, guys, parentheses, these and these two. 3x plus, I'm gonna distribute negative 6 by these two terms. So negative 6 times x is plus negative 6 times negative 9. 3x plus negative 6 times x is negative 6x plus. So negative times negative is positive. 6 times 9, 54. So the answer gonna be, if I look at these two terms, these are alike too. So I'm gonna subtract them because I have positive 3x and negative 6x. Different signs, subtract and keep the sign for the large number. So the answer is negative 3x plus 54. Number 4 is your homework. 6x cubed plus 4 plus 2x squared plus 15 plus x squared. Question 5. 6 is your homework, guys. Number 5, 4 parentheses y plus 8 plus 3 parentheses y minus 6. So I'm gonna distribute 4 by these two terms. It's 4y plus 4 times 8, 32, plus. I have negative in this parentheses inside it, so I should change it to positive, and 6 to negative 6. And then I'm gonna distribute 3 by these two terms. So put 4y down, 32 plus 32, plus 3 times y, 3y, plus 3 times negative 6. Then 4y, 3y are alike, because now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. So 4y plus 3y, 7y, plus 32, plus 3 times negative 6. So I'm gonna have negative 18, because positive times negative is negative. 3 times 6, 18. Put 7y down, and these two terms are alike. So I have positive 32 and negative 18, different signs. So subtract and keep the sign for the large number. So the answer is going to be positive 14. So plus 14 or positive 14, and I don't need to write down positive right here. And question 6, I think it's clear, and it's your homework. And be careful, guys, we have 5. This is 1, 2, 3 terms. First term, second term, third term. And this term has negative before parentheses. So negative, this negative gonna change the sign inside parentheses. And we have a note for this question, guys. And I just want to let you remember, just want to find the note. Yep, it's this one, it's note 6. So note 6 minus parentheses, and it's note 6, the second one. Question 7. Question 7. 16x plus 6 parentheses x minus 2. Put 16x down plus 6. First, I have two terms, guys. 1, 2. Then I'm going to change negative to positive, and 2 to negative 2. And don't forget, guys, parentheses. This is very important. Then 16x, put it down, plus 6 times x, 6x, plus 6 times negative 2 equals 16x plus 6x equals 22x plus negative 12. 22x, positive times negative, minus, so 22x gonna be minus 12. And this is, guys, is your homework. Plus 4 minus 3y. y squared plus 5 plus y. So 5y squared plus 4 minus, and this is the, so how many terms do we have, guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms. So we have 5 terms. 2, 3, 4, 5 terms. Nine. So this is the question, guys. If I see the question, I have negative 3 parentheses x plus 3 minus 2x plus 4. So it means this is multiplication right here, and there is multiplication right here. So this is going to be first term, second term. So I have 2 terms. So negative 3, I'm going to just distribute negative 3 and multiply it by x and 3. Negative 3 times x, negative 3x, plus negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. Change this negative to a positive and change 2 to negative 2. And don't forget, guys, parentheses right here. And then x plus 4. Now I'm going to distribute negative 2 by these two numbers. But first, I should put negative 3x down, plus negative 9, put it down, plus. Then I'm going to distribute. I'm not going to skip and leave this empty. No, guys, please take your time and no rush. And when you like solve the question in math, please take your time. So negative 2 times x gonna be put plus down, negative 2x. Negative 2 and this plus, put it down. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. These two are alike, and these two are alike. So negative 3x and negative 2x, so they have 3x and negative 2x. So we're gonna have same signs, add and keep the sign. So the answer is negative 5x. And for negative 9 and negative 8, they have same signs. So add and keep the sign. So the answer is negative 17. So, and then I'm gonna write negative 5x, and positive times negative is negative, so minus 17. And this question, guys, is your homework. 5x minus parentheses minus 3. It means I have 1 term, 2, 3. 3 terms. So I'm done with A and practice 1, 2. So now I have B. Question 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yep. So this is a practice 1, 2, and it's on page 309 in this book, guys. I don't know if you have it. I think some of you have this book for my students. Yeah, some of you guys, you have the book. Evaluate each expression as directed. Find the value of 6x plus 2 parentheses plus 7 when x equals 2. So I'm gonna plug in 2 in x. So 6 times, please, this is times, 2 plus 2 plus 7. So 2 plus 2 is 4. 6 times 4, 24 plus 7, which is 31. And this question is your homework, guys. Find the value of 3x squared plus 3 parentheses x plus 4 when x equals 3. So this is because I told you the even numbers are your homework, even questions. 13. Find the value of this expression. So when x equals 2 and y equals 4. So I could write down the expression. I'm going to plug in 2 in the x and 4 in the y. So x, it means 2 plus y, I'm going to plug in 4, square over 2 minus 10. And don't forget this fraction, guys, should be next to the sign negative. Because some of you guys write it down like, which is not correct. X, make it a marker, x plus y square over 2 and make minus 10 right here. So be careful, guys. The negative, it's not on top. So the negative should be next to the division or fraction line. So this is very important, guys. Please don't make it like this. So this is going to be, the question is going to be wrong. So right here, 2 plus 4 is 6 square over 2 minus 10. 36 over 2 minus 10. 36 over 2, it's 18 minus 10, which is equals 8. And then number 14 is your homework. Find the value of y squared plus 16 minus parentheses when y and to the power 2. And be careful, guys, the power is over the parentheses square when y equals 3. Number 15. Let's cover it, it's better. So number 15, guys. Find the value of, this is the expression when x equals 4 and y equals 6. So I can write it down. So how many terms do we have, guys? 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 terms. So I'm gonna plug in 4 in x and 6 in y. So 8 times 4 plus 9 times 6 minus 2 times 4 plus 6. 8 times 4, 32, plus 9 times 6, 54, minus 2 times 4, 8 plus 6. So 32 plus 3, because these are 2 terms, and this is the 3rd term. So I can add these 2 terms. So it's 86, and minus 14, 8 plus 6. And then the answer is 72. Number 15. 16 is your homework. Find the value of, this is the expression when x equals 7, y equals 5, and z equals -3. So x squared plus 3y minus 4 plus 2 times x minus z, parentheses, and 1, 2, 3, I have 4 terms. Question 17. Find the value of 14 minus x squared plus 20 times square root of x when x equals 9. So I'm gonna plug in 9 in the x. So 14 minus 9 plus 20 square root of 9. 14 minus 9, it's 5 and square on top, plus 20 times square root of 9, it's a 3. So 25 plus 20 times 3, 60, which is 85. And 5 squared means 5 times 5, guys, which is 25. Square root of 9, it means 3 times 3 square root, which equals 3. And this is your homework, guys. Find the value of this fraction plus 6 times, don't forget this, plus it's next to fraction line. Don't put it up, guys, please. So how many terms do we have? This is going to be the first term, and this is going to be the second term. So I just have 2 terms, when x equals -2 and y equals 3. So just evaluate these 2 numbers in x and y. $19. Find the value of x squared minus x cubed plus 3 when x equals -2. So I'm gonna write down the expression and plug in -2 in each x. So -2 squared minus -2 cubed plus 3. So 4, -2 squared is 4 minus -2 cubed means -2 times -2 3 times, which is this one. -2 times -2 times -2, which is -8. Negative times negative positive times negative. So right here I have -8 plus 3. Then -8 plus 3 is -5. Then negative times negative is positive, so 4 plus 5 equals 9. So first I have to put 4 down and then do the other term. Finish the other term. -2 squared is -2 times -2, it means positive 4 or 4. Question 20. Question 20, guys, it's find the value of 30x plus 2 plus 2y squared minus 3 parentheses x minus 2 squared. So I have 1 term, 2, 3, I have 4 terms. When x equals 1 and y equals 4. So for C, guys, 20. So I think I missed 13, right?